Hi, it's Jay here, and we're in The Sims 4 again today, and we're doing the Inverted Colors Cast Challenge. It means is we're going to flip the colors on the monitor and try to make a sim who still looks good, even though we can't see the color of any swatches that we are choosing. So there you see, I've just used the settings for Windows to turn to invert the colors on my display. So the thing with this challenge is if you understand color theory, or at least where things are, which colors are opposite each other on the color wheel, then the challenge should be quite straightforward for you. Unfortunately for me, I am not one of those people. Now, I do know some things about it. So, as we can see here, her hair looks white. So, it's the reason if it looks white in the inverted mode, then it's probably black when you put the monitor back to normal, and vice versa. I also know that yellow and purple are opposite each other on the wheel, but that's from a time when I tried to bleach my hair and it went wrong. It was like an awful shade of yellow, and I had to, and well, a hairdresser recommended that purple shampoo to try and sort of make it look more like of a blonde. It ended like a creamy color in the end, and she explained that it works because yellow and purple are opposite each other. Um, Side note, if you're going to dye your hair, the home box dyes, like they're good if you want a subtle change or, if you're just covering up some gray. But if you're wanting a dramatic change or you're trying to bleach it, it is worth having it done professionally because, yeah, from experience, it doesn't end well. Anyway, back to the video. As you can see, I've picked out an earring and like a choker necklace for Michelle. That's the same way I'm dressing up today. And now I'm currently putting some makeup on her. Um, with Sims makeup, I do tend to keep it quite simple, but you can see here the swatches are all like different shades of blues and greens, so I have no idea which swatch is which. I mean, even using the only lipstick I like in the game, I have no idea, what color that is because it just looks blue. But I'm going to copy it across to all of the outfit categories for Michelle, just to see, because it saves me doing it all the time, but it might not look good with some of the outfits. It could be a bit questionable, but we'll have a look and see. So I'm just picking a body template for Michelle, and then we're going to play about with the sliders just to make her a bit more muscular. Now, we're going to do her everyday look. So we want something that's kind of casual, but she can wear in the house or, out and about in the world. Don't know why I'm checking the preferences. Like I always randomize the preferences before I start dressing the Sims so that I can kind of pick colors that the game says they like. But right now I don't know which color's which, so there's not much point in it. So I'm just going to put what I think's nice. I do actually think that jumper looks nice in the shade of pink that it is now, but who knows what it'll be when we put the colors right. Let's have a look and see what we can put with it. I think maybe a skirt would go with it. Um, that skirt's quite patterned. There's some scope for it to go wrong with that one. I am going to make it hard, but I think I'm going to pick something else. No, I don't like that skirt. Let's have a look at this one. What swatches does it come in? Joe, ooh, that's a nice color orange, but I'll have to bear that in mind. No, but I think we'll go for this one this time. So I'm going to put some jewelry on her, just to give it, try and make it a little bit of it more challenging by myself. I'm like dressing Sims how I would do it normally. I do tend to keep the look in general quite simple. I think it's easier, even with just my normal ones. Like I like that swatch of the nails, but I don't know. I usually pick something like a purpley color, but we'll go with it. I don't know what that's going to be. And then I'm going to give her some shoes. I will just give her some shoes that maybe I'm going to chicken out, play it safe, and pick shoes that match the skirt. See what it comes out with, at least the match in this one. So we're going to do the formal wear. We're going to just dress that up, remove what there was there, just so that we can make it look a bit better. So this is the kind of thing she might wear if she was invited to a wedding or a funeral or some other formal event in game. Sims do just pretty much wear whatever you want, though. I once had a sim who just randomly decided to go shower in the rain outside the place where they were having the service, so in front of everyone. So it doesn't really matter. But with is what we're going with. That's a nice dress. It's kind of kind of prom, but I think it's kind of nice and poofy. Kind of gives me an reminds me of like when I saw like the movie version of West Side Story. Kind of reminds me of the kind of things that were maybe it's not exactly the same, but that's sort of what it reminds me of. I have only seen that movie once though, so I could be completely misremembering. Now I am sticking to how I dress Sims normally, which is I tend to stick to you know like keep the color palette quite simple. Um, but I'm just trying to So I'm picking things that look similar in this mode, and even though I have no idea what they'll come out like when we put it normal, at least this way, um, it should be the same level of bad. Let's have a look. Moving on to the athletic wear, and let's see. I'm going to stick with a two-piece outfit for this one, but I'm just going to remove what we've randomized because, well, there's a reason there's that meme of Sims like they just wear everything all at once. Um, but I like that top actually. It reminds me of if you played The Sims Busting Out, it reminds me of the top that the default Sim wore when you first went in to create a Sim on that game. I think kind of like the sticking with like a brownie tone, but I'm gonna give her some multicolored shoes just to see how that turns out with it. Sleepwear, I'm removing our slippers, like you know, because while it's fine when they walk around the house, it weirds. I think it's a bit strange when they wear their slippers to bed. Again, sleepwear quite simple, just a night dress. Now on to her party wear. So this one we can try and make this one kind of an in between of our everyday and her formal. I've never used this before. Um, I'm not sure if I like it, but I'll use it just because I've never used it before. A bit dubious about how it's going to look, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to give her the same shoes as for every day, and then like, make them look similar to what that top looks like. And again, I'm going to give her some green, like some earrings that look a similar color as well. So if it's bad, it'll be bad together. Oh no, I really do not like the base game swimwear. Um, what I'll do is we're going to do a two-piece again, just to say, give it more challenging because if they're all different, if you all one piece like full body outfits, it's going to match. But I want some chaos. See if we can find the match and swatch of some bikini bottoms for her though. But I will take our shoes off before we move on because you would wear shoes like to walk to the pool, but the Sims aren't programmed to take them off before they get in, so we'll just leave them off now. So we're doing the hot weather. Hot and cold weather outfits, they are a base game outfit category. Everyone has them, but in terms of gameplay, it only really matters if you have the seasons pack. Now, I like that top. I think it's quite nice. I might have to remember to use it. Um, but I think I want to put her in a skirt for this outfit, and I think because it's so long, it's not looking right with the skirt. So I'm just going to change it for maybe a shorter top, not like a crop top, just one that's like not that long. I've actually never used that top before. So I'll give it a go just to see what it looks like. And again, I'm going to pick some shoes that look a similar color to the top I've put on her. Now we're just going to go in and give her some earrings. The llama ones are fun. I'll put them on. So she's got some green llama earrings. Let's have a look and see if we can find a necklace that like works with it. I am a bit picky with necklaces in this game. Let's see. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one before either. Oh, I like that. Okay, now let's move on to Michelle's cold weather outfit. Again, the meme of them wearing everything all at once applies here. Let's see what we can do for her in terms of a cold weather outfit. Maybe that one's nice. It's from one of the events that they did. I can't remember which one, but we'll go for it. I'm gonna have a look at those trousers. Yeah, they're kind of nice. I'm gonna go for some boots. I think. Oh, I like those boots. And again, we'll go for a similar color to the trousers. Um, Michelle wears a lot of skirts, but I think cold weather, like the blizzards in this game in the winter, like they're rendered to look a bit severe. So you maybe wouldn't want to. You'd maybe want a full length trouser. But I'm going to leave her she's not going to cover her hair with anything. Okay, so just looking over our traits before I put her on the gallery. Yes, I am going to put her on the gallery before I know what color her outfits are. I am locked in. We are not changing this now. So this could be like awful, but we'll find out. I'm just going to give a little bit of a bio for the gallery based on those traits I looked at. So let's have a look and see. So Michelle wants to learn everything she can. Or sorry, she just wants to learn everything. Only she has only her impulse to take objects that don't belong to her does cause some problems. Oh, some distractions. Yeah, I think that works better. And I'm just saying I've made that with the inverted color challenge. And it's because you can see she has the kleptomaniac trait with the nerd brain aspiration. Fortunately for Michelle, she's also creative and a quick learner. And let's refresh of the outfits before we put them to the normal color. I'm just going to click through them quite quickly, but it's just that quick reminder of how they looked in the inverted colors. Okay, so it's time to put the colors back to normal. Just to make it a bit more dramatic, I'm going to cover Michelle up with the filter. Oh, back to normal. Oh, that's kind of nice. I think I wouldn't have picked that choker, but otherwise I kind of like it. Yeah, I like the pink polka dot, but that it's not the right shade of pink, that necklace. But again, otherwise, okay, the blue with the funky coloured shoes. Just a simple green nightly. Look, the nightly matches our nails. Yeah, I don't like this. I would not have picked that. At least it all like works, but I just wouldn't have picked that. The swimwear's kind of cool. Oh, I like that hot weather. I'll have to remember to use that top and actually that necklace more often. And yeah, we'll go for the sticking with our color palette. I think greens have, in particular have featured quite prominently for Michelle. Looking at our makeup, I think I've benefited from keeping it simple. I might have picked a different blush, but other than that, it's fine. We'll just have a quick refresh of her outfits. So I think in all, I'm going to have to say I think I've beat the challenge this time. There were a couple of items where I might have picked a different swatch, but thanks for watching. Bye bye.